What's going on, everybody? It's Rick from Garden with Barchuckin. Today I'm harvesting the natural bedding bin, and I'm bringing you along to show you what's going on, and then I'll show you how I'm going to be adding some fresh bedding to the bin. So here it is now. I'm outside so you can see there's the setup. So I'm just going to take the finished material from here, sift it into here, and then store those castings. Any of the big pieces is coming back into the bin. And basically this is about a week's worth of having the bubble wrap off, and everything's pretty nice. It's still damp, but it's not super moist that it won't be able to be sifted. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add these leftovers right to the feeding area. So I think this is a little piece of like cardboard tube that I stuck in there. Just a few pieces of some leaf material that didn't break all the way down. A couple little sticks and stems, nothing too crazy. Yeah, see, there's like a piece of stem or something, a stick. I just want to kind of quick look through and see if I see any worms or anything, which as of right now it looks really clean. So that's awesome. The worms migrated out like I was hoping for. It's a little stone, some type of seed, who knows, maybe that'll eventually germinate in the bin. Oh, there's the first worm, so I got to be a little bit more careful. Another big stick. There's a worm. Now, where I'm going to be storing these castings, there are other worms in there, so and I do tend to look in on that about once a month. I do add a little bit of food to it, to the castings, just to keep the biology going, and I spray it down with a little water too. I am very pleased with that. Okay, so here was basically the leftovers from the sifting. I don't want to go too wild and disturb them too much, but there's a bunch of the worms right there where that feeding area was. Oh yeah, they're looking great. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. Not really seeing too much of the feeding, but I will go ahead and feed them in another week. Okay, so just laying that all on the bottom. Here's the bedding. There's the shredded leaves, a gallon of rainwater, and I added some of the mosquito bits to help if there's any bugs around. And I've kind of explained before, what I like to do is try to mix in some of those castings, get that bin biology working on these fresh leaves. And I think I'm going to go kind of wild because I did do a few handfuls of leaves. There's still plenty in here. So I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit more of those castings on there. Kind of massage them in. And even sprinkle a little bit of the fresh bedding on top. We'll see how this looks in a few more days, everybody. I went ahead, I did a little harvest on this bin, and now we'll check in on the feeding area, and then I have a special feeding for these guys. Wow, look at the worms on the bubble wrap. So they're really kind of hanging out, going after that moisture. Shoot, there's a bunch actually on the inside. But that's okay, they're only going to be out for a little bit. Okay, well, I guess in a way it's good seeing a bunch of worms on there. Like I said, it's showing that there's still some moisture. I didn't add any more food when I did the harvest, so this should be pretty much gone. I'll get a chance to see how the new bedding's looking too. Yep, there's our mango pit. Nothing going on inside of it. And basically, like I said, no food scraps. This area is very nice and moist though. We'll see what's going on here. I see some moisture. I don't know if that's just from what the bubble wrap maintained. Ooh, I'm seeing a lot of dry, dusty leaves here. A bunch of worms down here at the bottom. So, before I get too crazy, I don't want to be breathing in any of the dust and stuff flying around. Okay, So now with this, I'm going to go ahead and incorporate the old castings in with this fresh bedding to kind of help inoculate this and hopefully keep the moisture so the next time I open this up, I don't have this huge dust cloud. Okay, so the mango pit's going back into the center. I'm going to add some grit over the entire bin because there's a lot of fresh bedding in here. First is going to be the pulverized azomite powder. And next is going to be the ground eggshell. So both the azomite and the ground up eggshells is going to help to give grit for the worms as they continue to eat the food scraps in the bedding. It's going to help break and digest the food as they take small bites and wiggle around. They don't have teeth, so the crop and the gizzard, the grit stays in and helps to break down and digest their food. Okay, so the special feeding that I have for the natural red wiggler bin is dun, 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 dun. It's that time of year, everybody. Pumpkin. So that is a fairly large feeding. There's going to be a ton of moisture in that too. So that's all I'm giving them for this feeding. Put it right there in the middle so we can attract worms from both sides after mixing everybody up. And I wanted to make sure that I cover that up. I didn't get to freeze it all the way because tonight I went ahead, before filming this, I roasted off some pumpkin seeds. Plus, I'll have a few more feedings of pumpkin to give the worms. On top of this feeding area, I'm going to add a little bit of the worm chow, which is just expired oats, pulverized, cornmeal, and flour with a little bit of ground up eggshell. So because that pumpkin wasn't froze all the way, it's going to take a little while, I think, for those microbes to really start breaking it down. So the worm chow is going to actually give the worms a little bit of food while they wait to go ahead and get into that feeding zone. So for this one, like I said, the feeding's in the center. I'm just going to leave this folded up how I normally do. We'll be able to figure it out on the next feeding where everybody is. Bubble wrap seemed to do pretty well with the moisture. Definitely the old feeding area was very moist. The other side, not so much. I'm actually heading out of town for a few days. I'm heading out for a bowling tournament, so I'll be going for the weekend. Hopefully for next Worm Wednesday, I'll go ahead and let you guys know how I did, and hopefully I'll come down with the win. If you guys have any questions, don't forget to drop them down in the comments. Thanks for coming along, checking out the video. Everybody have a great day.